Alright guys, so we're back out in the garage again. It is now the weekend and we're getting ready to work on Project Blackout, see if we can't make some good progress. Cassie's out here, so we're going to be working together, tag teaming this. But like I said earlier, or you seen in the last video, we got the axle out, the engine and stuff is in. So working on getting these hanger brackets, getting the rivets cut off of them, and then we're going to slide it forward. So we're going to get that all cut off, or the rivets undone, and then get those cut off. And then after that, we'll get some measurements set up and move those forward and drill some new holes. Alright guys, before we go any further, I just want to give you guys a good little tip. So if you're ever working with these rivets that are on a lot of Chevy frames, if you go ahead and notch these with a die grinder or a cutoff wheel, you can use an air hammer here and they'll come off a lot easier having that notch in them rather than just trying to go ahead and take the heads off without notching them. So I like to put the notches in them all the time. It makes quick work of it and you can get those out pretty easy. And then on the air hammer here, you just put a punch in there, just a rounded punch end, and it'll punch those through, and that's all you need to do. Alright guys, so it's the next day and we're out in the garage working on Blackout again. Last night we got the hangers all undone, the rivets are all out, got those taken off on both sides. I also have the rivets pulled out for this center cross member. We're not going to be using it, so I need to get that slid out. And then as far as the shock brackets, we will probably do a smaller bar across the top here for that, and then for a back cross member we're going to do a square piece of tube that'll go across. We'll kind of figure that out later once we come to that point. And then this piece, since we're shortening this, we have to use a smaller 1500 fuel tank. So this is where the center brace is on the longer 36-gallon tank, and the new spot will be right about here. But I would like to not cut this since this is good structural support and goes through the entire frame. We're probably going to get some round tube and make a complete new one that is moved up here closer. And that also houses one of the rear shock brackets. We'll have to make a mount for that up close. I want to retain the factory shock locations on this really close to where they're at right now. So we'll have to take some measurements and make those the same. But now that we got those brackets off, these two here that are for the bed are kind of in the way. We're going to have to get those cut off, and then we can start positioning our brackets and start drilling some holes in the correct locations to move this all forward. So we've been making good progress on the frame on Project Blackout. We haven't been filming much, but we've been getting quite a bit done thanks to Cassie. She's been doing a lot of grinding and working on the frame. We got these mounts here off that hold the bed. Those are all ground flat, and that's because our spring perches will be moved to this area, so we need to remove those. And then we got the body mounts cut off because I did some measuring on the Comanche and these are not going to be in the right spot, so we got those cut off. We still need to grind these down flush, that way that's all clean for when we go to put the body mounts back on in the correct location. But we're making some progress. Now that we got those cut off, we can get the back perches moved forward and the axle back under there. Once that's back under there, we're probably going to get the wheels and tires under this and then start bringing in the Comanche body, and we'll get that cut up to what we need to start fitting that to this chassis. So making some good progress. You happy?
Yeah, it's a lot of cutting.
It's definitely a lot of cutting. There's quite a bit to do on this, but once we get it done, it shouldn't be too terrible. There's a lot of work involved with shortening this chassis. Well, I guess not too much work, but there's a decent amount to shorten it to the wheelbase that I want. And then a lot of work is going to be involved in fitting the body to the chassis. That is something that's going to be pretty neat on this. You know, I'm using this complete frame and just using the body on the Comanche, so we'll see if it works out. Alright guys, I got the rear hangers all moved forward, And to do that, I just took this bolt hole and I went out to my measurements, which is 14 inches, what I'm shortening this. And then I measured that down an 1 5/8 and I drilled my first hole. And then I bolted this plate up with that. And then I made sure the top of the hanger was level with the top of the frame. And then I took another drill bit and kind of center marked the other 3 and drilled the rest of them. I did end up using a mag drill on this. You got to be careful with the mag drills. There's not a lot of material here on the frame, so sometimes they don't like to stick that well to them. They can kind of lift up when you're drilling. If you do have problems like that, you can put a bigger chunk of metal on the back of the frame. That way it has more metal to magnetize to. So now that I got the back all done, I can move on to the front here. And for this one, since it's at kind of a wonky angle, I'm going to have to drill 2 holes to bolt it up to before I go along and do all my pilot holes. So I will probably take and do this hole and probably that hole, or whichever 2 line up the best. I'll do those and then bolt it up and pilot drill the rest. Alright guys, I got both the front and rear brackets moved to their new location. I ended up moving both of them forward 14 inches. And then on the bottom side, I got it drilled for the back bracket that goes here, so I can bolt those on and get the leaves put in. The front, I have the holes drilled here. I'm going to end up having to make something that fits in there because the factory one down there is not going to work very well even if I chop it up. And then on the top here, I'm going to cut these ears down and probably just make a gusset plate that goes in there and weld that up. And then that's what we'll have for the hangers. But I still need to get the springs put in this. I got quite a bit left to do. I just don't have too much time. We're getting ready to leave on a trip this weekend. So I'm probably going to wrap up this video. There's a lot of stuff to get done on this, so I think on the next one it's going to be more of an update video. I'm hoping to get a bunch done and kind of fill you guys in on everything I got done. So stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be working on getting this cross member wrapped up, so the trans is mounted to that. Transfer case will probably be going in, and then the leafs will be on, as well as the back axle. Take a couple leafs out of the spring pack, because I'm not going to need all those. And then hopefully we'll be mounting the wheels and tires, which will be sweet. I can't wait to show you guys those. That way we can get it on its own weight, and it's a little bit closer to mounting the cab. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up this video. Subscribe, like, comment, do all those crazy YouTube things, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.